هی گایز به چیز ورکشاپ به کانالم به یه ویدیو دیگه خیلی خوش اومدین. ما امروز کینگستونیم، یه تانی که توش پر از دانش آموز، پر از آدمای مختلف و کشورهای مختلف میان اینجا واسه خرید و تفریح. اگه این ویدیو مهاجرت منو دیده باشید، توش درباره تجربیات خودم از زندگی تو انگلیس گفتم، ولی تو این ویدیو میخوام بریم از آدمای دیگه بپرسیم که نظرشون درباره زندگی تو انگلیس چیه. آماده این؟ بریم. Hey guys, where are you from originally, both of you?
So we're both born in Kingston.
Yeah.
I was born in London.
Right.
There's a Cockney within the sound of bow bells.
Okay.
So I'm a Cockney, but I've lived in Africa, India, where I met my husband.
Wow.
But
Okay.
I come back, we live in England, in the middle of England in Leicestershire.
Yeah,
Wow,
I
amazing.
originally come from India,
Right,
but I
okay.
lived most of my life in Kuwait. Did my schooling in Kuwait, and then met my wife in India, like she said, and came to live in London and moved. And so we live in England for a long time.
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
For how many years? It's been like over 20 years or?
Yeah.
30 years, 30 years.
30 years, yeah.
Nearly, well yeah, you've been here 29 years.
Yeah.
now, haven't you? Yeah, so
Hi, I'm from Egypt.
Egypt, okay.
Yeah.
For how long have you been living in the UK for?
5.5 years.
Do you go back to Egypt? Have you ever
Yeah.
been back home?
Yeah, I've just been there a month back.
Okay, do you go back home very often or?
Yeah, I go like about once annually. I can say so at least.
so we're both Iraqis.
Alright, okay. For how long have you been living in the UK?
I've been here for 15 years now.
15 years?
Yes.
Long time. And G?
Same.
Same, alright,
Yeah, he's
okay.
my brother.
Alright, okay.
Basically, I'm from India, Delhi,
Right.
and I just came here last September for
Okay.
my masters.
You've been here for a year almost?
Almost a year, yeah.
Okay. Have you been back to India since you came?
Yeah, just like last month.
Right, okay. Very recent.
Yeah, just recent because it was my holidays and I was like, I really miss my home.
Of course.
Mexico?
I'm from England
Right.
and I've been here all my life, 52 years.
52 years.
Yes.
Long time.
A long time. Thank you, not that long.
For how long have you been living
For
here?
15 years now.
15
Yes.
years. Where are you from? Iran, originally. Lovely. Do you go back to Mexico at all?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Try to at least once or twice a year. Wish I could bring Mexico here, but so far
That would have been
haven't
nice.
found the love to do it yet.
So we've got back kind of Moroccan.
All right, both of you.
Yeah.
All right, okay. For how long have you been living in the UK for?
We're both born here.
All right, amazing. Okay. Do you go back to Morocco very often, or?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
once, twice a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was born in the UK, in Bristol, but originally my parents are from Cyprus and Iran.
All right. Okay. Nice. For how long have you been living in the UK for?
I have been born and bred in the UK,
Right,
so
okay.
this has been my home for
Right.
years.
Do you ever go back to Iran or to your home country?
So in terms of going back to Iran, I've actually never been there.
Right. Okay.
I would love to go someday, but certain situations have meant I
of
haven't.
course. Yeah.
But I'm still quite connected with my culture, and it's nice to have an Iranian community here in the UK as well. I'm born here, I'm born in Birmingham,
Right,
but
okay.
originally I'm Indian, so
Oh, right,
my
okay.
family are from India.
How long have you been living in the UK? Like you've been here all your
Yeah,
life,
born
right?
here.
Yeah.
Born
okay.
here.
Right. Do you go back home very often? Do you go back to India?
I go back to India. I try to go back once a year. Otherwise, I'm mainly here.
Yeah. Once a year is not bad, right?
Yeah.
Italy.
Italy, okay. For how long have you been living in the UK?
I've been living here for 6.5 years.
All right, okay. Do you go back to Italy very often?
I try at least once a year.
All
Depends.
right, that's not bad. Can you give me one positive and one negative point about life in the UK, living in the UK?
Lots of positives. The culture, how cosmopolitan it is, how
Yeah.
you find people from all over the world. Most people are super friendly.
Definitely.
The big opportunity there is for artists to develop here.
Yeah.
Positive would be weather is fine.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Sometimes
Yeah.
the weather is fine, but most importantly, I think it's place for more opportunities.
Of course.
In terms when it comes to media and
Yeah.
entertainment field. But when it is about the community, I think like it doesn't have that like familiar presence still,
Yes, I
because I
agree.
mean
Yeah.
it's different from back in India where everyone
Definitely.
like knew me or I know
Yeah.
everyone, but not here. So.
So one negative thing, we'll start with the negative because
Yeah.
most of there's a lot. The negative thing is the weather in winter,
Of course.
because
Yeah.
we get used to quite hot summer weather there.
Compared to Egypt, yeah.
And one positive thing, you can say quality of life, green areas around.
Yeah.
People are more supportive, cheerful, nobody's just judging anybody. They respect everybody else's culture.
There's lots, I guess, we're a democratic nation, we're very proud of lots of things, but essentially it's all around the politics and all the good positive things that Great Britain has to offer. The negative things right back here at the moment are the economics of the nation, but that's all the sorts of
Definitely.
issues around the world.
Yeah.
But
If you were to live in a different country, where would it be, or where would you go?
Spain,
Spain. All right.
Yeah.
And why is that?
because I have a property there.
Okay, that
So-
makes sense. Do you go back home very often? Do you go back to your home country as well?
No, actually, we haven't been. Yeah, sometimes
Alright,
we
okay.
get yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Can you give me one positive and one negative point about life in the UK, living in the UK?
I mean, you've got the freedom of speech. You've got, you know, the opportunity to work, to develop. Negativity, probably I'd say, you know, social life, if not limited.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
That's
I
something
agree.
we struggle with.
Yeah.
But apart from that, all good. I definitely negative the weather.
Oh, 100%. Today we're lucky.
No, yeah, today's a good day.
Yeah.
And one positive for you?
I think the opportunities, like
Definitely.
the UK has more opportunities than other countries.
Yeah. Can you give me one positive and one negative point about living in the UK?
I think in terms of positive, it is quite accessible if you want to travel to Europe, if you
Yeah.
want to go abroad. We've got public healthcare as well, so that's all a plus. Negative points, I would say sometimes it can feel kind of lonely, like knowing other kind of cultures, a bit more welcoming. or
I
warm.
agree with that. Yeah.
But when you do find your community, it's really nice.
Yeah.
And then the obvious, the weather.
Of course.
Because
yeah.
1 minute it's raining, 1 minute it's sunny, and
Typical.
you can't really plan anything around it. So, yeah. Negative inflation. Obviously, everyone's not earning a lot of money because everyone wants to pay minimum wage.
Yeah, definitely.
I think a good thing is like there's a lot of places you can go to. You're not just stuck in one place. There's like a lot of options everywhere.
Can you give me one positive and one negative point about life in the UK or living in the UK?
I live in London.
Okay.
So, being a single person, the cost of living and the accommodation wise is
Very expensive. The weather today?
well, the weather today is really nice, but
Sunday.
usually it's not. But
that's true.
I think there are opportunities out there,
Of course.
like career-wise.
Yeah.
Can you give me one positive and one negative point about living in the UK or life in the UK?
I think it's a fair country. That's really, really positive.
Definitely.
Yeah. And in terms of negative, I can't think of any negative. Too much queues. Too many queues. But
100%.
yeah, but it's a fantastic country. You know, I love living here.
Yeah.
There's so many opportunities. So many things going for, you know, living in. We are so fortunate. Yeah.
I agree. Anything to add?
I love history.
Especially
and
even traveling a lot. so,
yeah, and I just love all the history. Even here, we've just been amazed at the history in the marketplace in Kingston. And so it's like everywhere you turn, there's an old church or there's an old castle. Or I love the history of England.
Yeah, full of history, not just in London.
Everywhere you go around.
Wherever you go.
Definitely.
It's too rushy.
Yeah, it's way too
We've got
rushy.
family in Grenada. It's just so much.
Yeah, like the lifestyle there is like way more like you do things in the right timing. Here you're just like there's never enough time.
Everyone's in a
It's
rush.
like stress.
No, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Any positive points?
Positive points is like it's so accessible. Like you can access anything easily. Like the cost of living, like although it is increasing, like it's much better than other countries. Like you can actually afford to go to the shop and buy like groceries. Like you can get the cheapest options, but like you go to like we just come back from Grenada, like you go to the shop and you're literally like fuck, like I'm gonna be spending like 50 quid on one round. Like it's crazy. Like you don't realise how much access you do have when you're here. Like
No, definitely.
you
More
know.
opportunity.
Yeah, and yeah. Well, like it's still hard though. Like you know.
Yeah, of course. but,
Depends.
like,
Depends.
compared to out there, much more opportunity.
Yeah, like much more jobs and stuff. I've been a student at Kingston. I've done like a journalism degree and stuff, so I'm now working with like I've got a new job starting next week.
Excellent.
In Surrey though, not in Kingston.
Valid point. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Take care. Bye.
No, that's great. Thank you so much, guys.
It's all right.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.